All right, it is 11:03 UTC, so let's start with this workshop. I want to say again, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever you are, and thank you for joining us to our very first tour of the IGS. I'm Dr. Mayra Oyola. I'm the Deputy Director of the International GNSS Service Central Bureau. On behalf of the Central Bureau, the IGS Governing Board, we welcome you to this very first tour. The Central Bureau Director, Alison Crowder, could not be in attendance this morning, but she sends you all of the warmest regards. It's really great to have you here. As we know, IGS provides openly available data on open basis. We have the highest quality GNSS data, products, and services in support of the terrestrial reference frame, of Earth observations and research, as well as position, navigation, and timing, and other applications that benefit society in general. We wouldn't be able to do this without all of you, without our community. Obviously, we have station operators, researchers, academics, engineers, partners from all of the corners of the world, and we all believe in the power of GNSS. Today is an example of how strong our community is. We have over 300 people. We pass max capacity registered for this workshop. We have almost 180 different institutions across 57 countries. So for those of you who are new to the IGS, welcome. For those of you who are coming back, thank you and welcome again. We know that we have been dealing with some very hard and trying times. I hope that you're all well and sound. Our global community is still trying to adapt to the impact of COVID-19, particularly in the newly introduced changes in terms of work environment and travel limitations. As part of that, we obviously had to postpone the IGS 2020 workshop, which will be taking place next year in Boulder, Colorado. But in the meantime, we have continued to interact with the community in establishing this type of extensive discussions and contributions, and looking at how our organization will be developed within the next decade. With the IGS workshop being postponed to 2022, we're looking forward to connect with all of you in different ways. So this is one way, having this series of virtual mini workshops. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is just the first of several that will lead to our 2022 workshop in Boulder, Colorado. Of course, the topic for today is the international reference frame and the third IGS processing. So a couple of things before we start. As I mentioned before, we have 57 different countries joining us today. So I want to make sure that all of you get recognized for being here in this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a couple of items in terms of cleaning out the house. This is a live event and it's being recorded, but it will be also shared with the community through the IGS YouTube channel after the meeting. Questions will be asked. You can ask questions. We will moderate the questions through chat. There's a 5-minute period after each one of the presentations for people to ask questions. I will be reminding the speakers during the presentation about how much time they have left. There's also an allotted time at the end of all the presentations for everyone to ask questions and continue the discussion. We'll be moderating that discussion. And as I mentioned, this is the three-part. Before I continue, this is the agenda and some of our speakers today. Before I finalize, I just want to say thank you so much for all of them for joining us in this morning. I know they're all really busy people and they have been working really hard with the ITRF and the reprocessing. So we are really eager to listen to their presentations. Thank you, Suhair Al-Tamimi from the International Association of Geodesy, Paul Rabichon, who is the IGS reference frame coordinator from the IGN, Salim Masumi, who's our new Analysis Center co-coordinator from Geoscience Australia, as well as Simon Banville, which is our PBP working group chair, Janjui Zhang from Wuhan University, who has been working extensively with this RIPRA tree, and we're very eager to see his presentation as well. Thank you also to Susanne Glaser from GFZ. And of course, our introduction will be handled by our own governing board chair, Felix Beresan from CNES. As I mentioned, we're going to be doing this a couple more times. Please stay tuned. We have a couple of different venues for you to contact us. Of course, we have our brand new website, IGS.org, but you can also follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter.